Well, hello there and welcome back to another video. I just came back from a stormy ride from Shetland, and Tessie is licking her wound now, so but it's a couple of more videos I want to show before we go to the actual Shetland movie. It's pretty insane, so I'm just building the tension a little bit before I post it, I guess. Fucking hell. So this video will be about installing the track slider system and about me managing to smash Tessie hard aground after the installing. And at last, a cool little electronic gadget I got for Tessie. And why in the world do I need a track slider system? In my case, it was because I had a really hard time reefing and getting the sail up and down when I had these plastic bits on the mast. They were creating a lot of friction when the sail was going up and down, and especially when I was reefing it in the North Sea in big waves. You don't want to spend too much time on deck, so I asked Selden if they wanted to help me up, and this is the Selden RCB track slider system, ball bearing in the track sliders. It's really nice. So the sail comes easily up and down now without any troubles. Look at that. Perfect. And I want to show how I installed this system. It's really cool. And I have to add to the story that right after I was finished installing the system, I was on my way back to Haugesund, where I'm now, and I smashed Tessie hard aground. It was terrible and worst timing ever. But that's life. But let's check out the installment of the track sliders first, and I'll see you later. I'm on my way to Stavanger, 6 hours sailing this way. So our destination was Stavanger, 31 nautical miles away. This is the nearest place to find the best rigging and boat repair workshops to get the job safely done. I spent the night in a quiet place to get ready for the big task lying ahead. Okay, good morning. We are off to the last bit to Stavanger, and we're gonna start working on taking down the mast, losing all the bits and joints to get her loose, and hopefully everything will go smooth. Let's see. I arrived early next morning and found my way in towards Grasholmen Marina to find my pier where I would tie up to start the work. While Erik and his good friend Hans prepare Tessie, we can take a look at the sponsor of this video, NordVPN. The past year I've been traveling a lot, both by air and sea, visiting countries on many continents. Common for all occasions was to have a secure online connection. That's where NordVPN comes in very handy. I work from all my devices like telephone, PC and tablets to share my content as I go. By the flip of a switch in the app, I'm instantly secured, having my IP address hidden. Many different ways of protection can quickly be utilized through the simple user interface. It's like clipping on offshore when hazards are getting too close for comfort. As you move around, you can change your online presence to the preferred country that suit your needs. If it's to unlock your favorite show or even look for better deals when ordering flights and hotels, NordVPN will be at great help. So head over to nordvpn.com/Erik and get 4 months extra on a 2-year plan. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. So let's get back to work taking down the mast. Okay, so now we have loosened all these, I don't know the name of them, been taking out all the electronics, and we have cut out all the mass in between the mast and the collar, and we have put all the sails on the one side here, so it's out of the way, so it's easier to work. And now Hans is just checking if the mast crane is ready, and if it is ready we are going over to pull the mast out of its nest. I was really excited, as this was the first time to take down the mast since I bought Tessie 21 years ago. I believe it's no reason to take it down as long as you're able to inspect it by climbing up yourself. So that's the inner collar removed. Wow, there's a lot of moisture in here.
Er du klar nede?
Ja.
Du løfter litt. Du var redd at det skulle være bedre bil på fast.
Ja. Velkommen. Ja da.
That's amazing.
Nå er han i flukt med dekk.
Masts are extremely strong when they are tightened correctly in all directions by strong wires. But once the wires come off, they get very fragile, especially hanging in a crane, and you need to be very careful with every movement. It all went perfectly, lowering the mast down to the 2 cradles, and we could start transporting it to the worksite. Okay, look at this. The mast is in place all the way. And we brought it up here so I can work on it. And now I've just finished cleaning it with high pressure wash. And tomorrow we're gonna fit new wires and start also installing the Salvage track sliders. And here is the busy mast top with all the cameras and gear under here. The CIA thermal camera and the Raymarine infrared camera. So it's so weird to see the mast down like this. I'm used to climbing up and do all the service by myself by climbing it, but it's so much easier to have it on the ground, no doubt about it. And here sits Tessie without her mast. She almost looks a little bit embarrassed without her mast. Let's see. This is the mast color, and we just have to clean out everything here, and yeah, that's it. Radar is hiding under here, so it's a lot of work ahead of us, and I think I'm gonna take a good night sleep in my little nest here. It's not too cozy now. All right, see you tomorrow. And this is actually the remains of a mast break. Somebody lost his mast in between Shetland and Norway. So the mast went overboard, and this is the piece that was from deck and down to the bottom of the boat. The old feeding track got removed to make space for the new track system. The mast top also had to come off, as feeding the new tracks would start from here. We'll get to that. This was also a great opportunity to check the cables for the 2 cameras. The cables are lying loose inside the mast, as there are no leading pipes to secure them into. But they seemed fine and unharmed, even after many thousands of miles offshore. And here's the old cable for a 3-color lantern on the mast top. It's about 30 years old, I think, so it's about time to do all this stuff. I'm gonna sleep a little bit better offshore. Hans drilled some bigger holes to prepare for the new thicker cables for the new 3-color lantern and VHF antenna. By using a leading line, we managed to pull the new cables all the way until they reached the mast top. Now the mast was ready to be installed with the new track system. So this is the Salvage track system. This goes onto the mast, and there are some backing plates here, and at last the track slider, the car, going up and down. So what I need to do is to screw on these backing plates like this, and you can see there is a slight space there, and that's also why we can slide it into the old track of the mast like this. And this we're gonna build it after each other until it reaches the far end. Some hours later, the job was done and I could take a little break. During the day, the wind picked up. Not that it really mattered this time. It's actually a lot of wind outside, but without having the mast up, the boat is completely still. And I'm enjoying some gut-friendly food again. The lower track endpoint got installed. Hans cut out the last piece to fit the top end. The whole track was now aligned and in place. Next job was to tighten the backing plates with an endless amount of screws, every single one to be secured with Loctite. This kept me occupied until late evening, day 3. Okay, day number 4. Today we're going to mount the sliders, the track cars, and we have to open what they call the gate here, this piece. Take that off and then we can slide the cars onto the new track. So let's see how this goes. This is a guiding track, and you take off the tape here and you have to align it because if this comes off now, all the ball bearings will run out. We have to align it like this. There we go, and we can slide it over like that. So that's 12 more to go. And then you have to fit these things, and to do that we have to pull this splint out. Pop the splint back in. And here's the new VHF antenna. Hans is doing a great job of welding it and screwing it together. Beautiful. A battery was connected to test my brand new combined mast top, tree color and anchor light. Very happy about that. While Hans prepared the sealing for the mast color, I polished the mast before being ready to step it back on Tessie the next day. The crane didn't get ready before late evening on day 5. Nevertheless, we got the mast transported back to the crane site and prepared for lifting it back on Tessie. I have to admit, seeing the mast like this and walk it like a dog was very new to me. The nerve-wracking process lifting the mast with all its advanced equipment made me look forward to getting it over with, having it back in place where it belonged. I was starting to get tired and fatigued after many days with stress, work and limited sleep.
20 cent igjen.
Scary stuff. Yes, good morning again. Day number 5. We just have to tune the rig now with turnbuckles. And we have also filled up the mast foot inside with epoxy, and then we're going to try to seal off the outside here so the water doesn't run into the boat on the outside of the mast. So that's today's work. It's a lot of different stuff to be done here. I thought it was just to change out the top lantern and take the track on, and yeah, it's a pretty tall stack here, but it's going to be really interesting to get the mainsail on and see how it sits. Reconnecting all the wires. Day 6 or 7. Mainsail is now coming on, and we're gonna stick it onto the new sliders here. And hopefully I'll be off in not too long. We just have to tighten up the shrouds and the turnbuckles and trim the rig to the right position. And then we're off. Slight issue with the lazy bag here. The sail stack is so high so that the bag doesn't fit into the bag. We're gonna figure out something smart, but I think we might have an answer at a later stage. Hans put the final touch on the mast tuning, and I was ready to get back to Haugesund.
But then disaster struck. So I was getting myself ready to sail up towards Haugesund, 6 hours sailing, no wind, flat water, and I had one issue, and I'd been working for 7 days almost without no sleep and stress, and I felt really tired, but I was actually going down to Thailand to visit Rolly Tasker, the Rolly Tasker factory, so I needed to get the boat home. So I took a chance, and I thought that I'm not going to go to sleep, you know, it's going to be fine. 6 hours, we can do that. And then the trip started back home, using all my electronic navigation systems, and everything looked good. I felt good, and I kept going. All right, so we are done with the mast. And I've done so much to it now. 7 days of work. And we are heading back home to Haugesund in pitch black dark, sailing by with the help of radar, chart plotter, and the really cool CIA thermo camera, so you have a crisp, clear view about what's happening around us. There's a ferry here. There you can see the ferry. Have a good night.
We proceeded the journey along the 6-hour route back to Haugesund. It was cold, flat water and no wind. I sat in the cockpit, monitoring the environments. That's when my eyes started to feel heavy.
And along the way I encountered an open stretch of water called Buknafjorden. It's about 1 hour straight forward to the other side, and at some point I really started to feel tired. It was cold, it was only by engine, the boat was just on flat water, and it was like a really sleepy situation that kept you tired. And eventually my eyes felt closed and I fell asleep.
Tessie followed the route using autopilot tracking, meaning she steered exactly along the planned line. We passed a waypoint where we should alter the course some degrees to port. That never happened, and the inevitable slowly unfolded.
And then the crash. Bang! And I will never forget the sound of the crash when she hit rock on the bottom of her keel. And I instantly woke up and I ran down to check the keel bolts and what's happening down there. I was sure I've lost the boat, but everything actually seemed fine. I could see some cracks on the floors breaking up, so I instantly knew that the keel had been pushed up into the cabin and that the damage was severe. But I didn't see any water coming in, so I felt good but weird, but something was really, really wrong. And what I did next was to sail Tessie up to an anchor place, drop the anchor and just monitored her all through the night. And next day, no more water in the boat, and I proceeded back to Haugesund, where I took the underwater drone and inspected the damages.
Not unexpected, the 3,300 kilo lead keel had taken a massive blow to the lower front part. This had pushed the aft section of the keel up into the hull until the floorboards broke in the saloon. Then it kind of went back into normal position. When backing the boat off the rock, I hit another rock with the aft section. Then the bottom part of the keel slided over it, scratching it up pretty bad. The lower part of the front keel bolt also broke through the surface.
So I called my insurance company, and luckily they were very helpful. So they guided me down back to Stavanger, 6 hours sail, and I was really nervous. I said, Stavanger, that's 6 hours away with the broken keel. I don't know, and it was about 15-20 knots reported. But everything kind of looked good, so I didn't have any other choice than just start the trip. Okay. So I am on my way from Haugesund back to Stavanger again after the incident, and I'm constantly gonna check the keel bolts on the way.
Of course, the wind picked up underway to make it some more interesting.
So this is where I hit, just at the breakwaters over there. Bang! And I was supposed to go under the bridge. That's a pretty bad miss. And I will never forget the bang, the sound when it hit.
We reached back into the open coastline of Buknafjorden, and I got a little bit stressed looking at the conditions.
Alright, so we're at the open coastline now, and it doesn't look too bad. It's a little bit wavy here, but it doesn't look too bad. It's a great opportunity to have a look at the keel boats while the boat is moving around. Looks good, no movements. Doing 6.5 knots and 80 knots of wind right now. Okay.
I took my chances of sailing, heeling the boat over to get it more stable, as motoring created a lot of pounding and stress to the hull.
Cool beans.
Finally, we entered the city of Stavanger. I navigated carefully to the boat repair shop and got Tessie safely into the lifting cradle. For the first time, we could inspect the damages up close.
So the damages was severe, much more than we anticipated. So the insurance company was on the brink to let the boat go and throw her down the bin. Luckily they decided at the end to help me out.
I was overwhelmed to see the repairs started instantly. Tessie got lifted onto an hydraulic cradle designed to separate the keel from the hull. The keel bolts got pulled out for inspection, and they seemed to be in surprisingly good condition. One of my fears was now put to rest. The masts were taken down again and all the rigging dismantled. Most of the support beams around the keel support structure had been clipped and broken loose due to the hard blow. The hull had minor cracks along the keel, letting in small amounts of water. During a 4-week process, all the support beams were renewed and several layers of fiberglass were used to re-strengthen the keel support structure. A big job was done with the keel as well. The damaged areas was heated up and hammered back into position. Putty was applied and sanded down to create the original shape. I'm very glad to have a lead keel, as an iron keel is much harder and would probably create a lot more damage to the hull.
And another crazy thing that happened was that this thing broke, and this is the piece that the lower shrouds are connected to, just under the spreaders. And when I hit the rock, the mast got pushed forward, I guess, and that took up some severe loads on the lower shrouds, resulting in this piece breaking.
The engine and propeller survived well, apart from some tears and rips in the sidewalls from the shock, which was plastered together with some epoxy.
Alright, so this is what it looks like now. Beautiful work, and she has been strengthened in all possible ways around the keel. There is some slight ingress of water here, but that's from the Shetland North Sea trip. So I think the water is coming in from deck somewhere, and it slides down to the bottom of the keel. And of course, as the old floorboards broke to pieces, I need a new one. So the workshop made these beautiful boards here to fit exactly the way they should. So let's put them on and see how it looks like with the new floorboards. Perfect. And this is the water intake for the engine. This is a water sensor. If water comes in, it sounds an alarm. And this is the bilge pump. Perfect. The steps are going here. So what do you think about this? So a big thanks to Stavanger Båtverksted to help me out with this and make the job in record time. 4 weeks. Wow. And the total cost of the repairs, I bet you wonder, it landed on $40,000 US. But it was a big job, and it was absolutely worth it. So Tessie is back strong again now, stronger than ever. And as I said, I already tried her in the North Sea, and there was no water coming in without some big seas splashing into the cockpit, and they found its way down to the bottom of the boat. But everything is 100% sealed up. Really, really cool. Wow. Then it's one last thing I want to share with you, and that's this cool screen from Raymarine. Look at that. It shows the wind angle and wind strength and true wind, apparent wind, everything you need to know about the wind. And yeah, let's check that out how I install that.
It's 3 main components in the boxes: the screen, the bracket, and the power/signal cable. The process of installation is very simple and pretty much self-explaining. Okay, so I have now plugged in the power cable, signal cable, and it's gonna come through deck here. So we need to drill a hole right here. Drilling holes through deck is not my favorite. I always spend some extra time to make sure it's sealed up.
So that's the wire through deck.
I must say the thing looks pretty cool sitting on the mast. Last thing is to pull the cable through the interior.
So now the connection point of the wire has reached the network switch here. Last available port. Okay, so that's everything connected here. And then it's just to get the power cable to the central here.
And power it up.
And what's also cool is that you can control the alpha display from the chart plotter. You can change the slides on the alpha. Okay, so now Tessie is ready again for the big seas. Sailing to Greenland in May, 4th damn attempt. Stay tuned for that. And thank you so much to all my supporters. Thank you for buying the NBJS merch in the stores. Thank you to all my patrons. You're wonderful. You have been at really good help on this project, getting Tessie back in shape. And also, hit me up on Facebook and Instagram. It's a lot of cool stuff there, and I will put out more news and updates on my social medias. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the like button, leave a comment. It's gonna help me get up in the algorithms and be seen out there. And yeah, let's see in the next video about when we go down to Thailand, Phuket, to visit Sven, the CEO of the Rolly Tasker locations down there to see my new sales in production. See you soon.
Oh yeah, I just got a new batch of my NBJS birdies. Send me an email to post@nbjs.no. There are $30 US, including worldwide shipping. See you soon, Erik.
Oops, a line in the ocean here.